Well, hello, it's me in a different guise, something I recorded earlier in the week. And our question this morning, thinking about the Bible, is why is the Old Testament included in our Bible? So if you look at the Bibles in the pews now, or you look at the one you've got at home or on your phone or whatever, it'll have two sections, two main sections anyway, called the Old Testament and the New Testament. So why is that bigger bit, the bit at the front, called the Old Testament, in our Bible? Well, why don't we first of all think about the word old? I don't know what that conjures up for you. I found today, actually, very helpfully, an old pair of trainers. They're looking pretty gross, as you can see. They're all cracked, and although they were a good pair in their day, I think they were a Nike, they're certainly not any good now. And so sometimes we think of the word old as meaning past it and not good anymore and no use, and we need to chuck it out. And that's probably what I need to do with those trainers. But there's another way we think of the word old, and I found an old coin. My dad used to collect coins, and it's something I was interested in as well. Now I don't know whether you can quite see that, but that's a Queen Anne florin, and it's from 1711. So that's quite old. It's quite an old coin, and it was sort of the value of in its day of our 10p now, but worth a whole lot more. So that's another meaning of the word old. And then the third meaning, which really follows the second, is a picture from where Jane and I live. We live in a house, and the old part was built in about 1903, so roughly 120 years ago, nearly. But about 15 years ago, someone lived here and they built a new part to it. So our house has got an old part, which is the biggest bit, and the new part, which is the smaller bit. But it's got some pretty important things in it, like the kitchen and a bedroom. So our old bit is brilliant, but the new bit really completes the house. And so we wouldn't dream of getting rid of the old part of our house, because although we'd have a pretty comfy bit left, it wouldn't be complete. We wouldn't have the rooms we need to live in and to have friends around for meals and so on. And maybe it's that sort of meaning of old and new that helps us understand why we have our Old Testament within our Bible. You probably remember a passage from the book of Timothy, and he says all scripture is God-breathed and useful, and he explains why it's useful, but we're not going to go into details with that this morning. And of course, when Timothy was writing, he was referring back to what we now call the Old Testament, the Jewish scriptures. And of course, the Old Testament tells the great story of the creation of the world, of the time when things went hideously wrong, when sin entered the world, and then a great time of promise that went on for a long, long time, of looking forward to when the Messiah would come, when Jesus would come. And the Old Testament picks up that theme very strongly throughout. And then, of course, we come to the New Testament and we see the fulfillment of all those promises of God's providing a rescue for us through Jesus in his death, his resurrection, and his being raised to life, dealing with that mess that we call sin, but also pointing forward to a time when everything in the whole of creation will be brought together in Jesus, where we will be made completely new. And so we need the big story of God's story, and the Old Testament gives us the roots of that big story. It points forward to Jesus, and the New Testament then builds on that story and completes it, rather in the way like our house is now complete. It has an old bit and it has a new bit. That's one way of understanding why the Old Testament is in our Bible.